So what I'll be starting with next is the banana oat granola bar. So what I've got here is some oats, shredded coconut, chopped almonds and pepita seeds. So this is going to make up the base of the bar. So this is a bit of a play on a typical granola bar, but what I've done is replace the high oil content of a normal granola bar, which is what makes them so crunchy and delicious, with some mashed banana. So that's also adding a little bit of fructose sugar that which is a replacement of the dried fruit that I've removed from this recipe. So it's really simple. Basically, you're adding your wet ingredients and your dry ingredients together and putting it in the oven. So I'll just make sure that the oven is turned on to 180 degrees so the granola bar can go straight in. So the base of this is mashed bananas. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. Rather than peeling the banana and mashing it, a really good little tip is using the shell of the banana kind of as a bag, essentially. If you just quickly squeeze it with your hands, then pop the banana out, it's already quite nice and mashed, so you don't have to spend too much time kind of getting that all together. So I've got the bananas and I've also got 3 tablespoons of grapeseed oil here. So you can use any oil. Coconut oil is a really nice oil to use because it has a nice coconutty flavour, but if you don't have coconut, just use grapeseed, rice bran, vegetable, anything like that. So what I'll do is just give this a little mix together. So because I've taken the time to crush the bananas before, this should come together really nice and easy. So just take a minute to make sure there's no really large chunky bits. Then from here I've got 2 cups of oats, half a cup of shredded coconut, and I've got some pepita seeds and almonds here. But you can use any nut, any seed, like this recipe is designed to be a base. So if you've got walnuts or pecans or even peanuts, just put those in instead. This is 3 tablespoons. And then I've just got a couple of tablespoons of pepita seeds there too. If you kind of are after some more sweetness, feel free to add some dried apple, dried apricot, some honey, or a sweetener alternative. So you can either use a muffin tray or a nice little slice tray. So you want to line it so it doesn't stick. I find it easy just to use baking paper because it's a lot easier on the cleaning. Just don't worry too much about making it perfect because you're going to put this in anyway. Then essentially you just want to flatten it. Here it's really important just to take a couple of minutes to make sure that it's really nice and evenly flattened out, because if you don't and you leave one corner really thick or really thin, then it's obviously going to cook differently to the rest of the dish. So here we go, ready to go in the oven. It's as simple as that. I'll just put it in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes and then we'll get it out and I'll explain to you further cooking of it. So if you're suffering from a really dry mouth or sore mouth, I would recommend taking it out a little bit earlier so that you don't get too much of a crunch. But if that's a symptom that you're lucky enough not to have, then I would leave it in the oven for a bit longer and you'll get a really nice granola bar texture. All right, just put it in. All right, so it's been about 25 minutes. We'll just get the muesli bar out and have a check. So it's looking really good. It's got a nice crunchy outside and it's not looking too moist in the middle, so you can tell that it's nice and cooked. So what I'm going to do now is show you whether to eat it now or whether to put it back in the oven. So what I'll do is use a cake rack, put it on top, just flip it, and then what you're going to do is peel off the tray and the baking paper. So at this point, if you're suffering from a really sore mouth, I would recommend not putting it back in the oven, because if you feel the top of it, it's quite moist because it's essentially kind of steamed a little bit in the baking paper. But if you're really not suffering from any sore mouth or any ulcers, I'd recommend putting it back in the oven for 5 minutes or so, and that's going to allow this top layer to crisp up again so you get a really crunchy bar. All right, so the granola bar's been cooling, so what I'm going to do is just slide it off onto the board, and then from here we're just going to cut it up. All right, here we go. So once they're cut, you can just pick up a bar, have a look. So as you can tell, it's quite nice and moist through there, and that's what you're after. You don't want it to be too chewy or too hard to eat. So there we go. All done. These are the muesli bars.